Okay, so here's the outdoor social fire. I'm going to build a ring of rocks, if I can find some around this, by the way. This is just temporary. But over here, at the far corner of my campsite, I keep all the long lengths of wood. Every time I go into the woods for whatever reason, if I see some potential firewood, we'll grab it and throw it on the pile. What I like to do is carry my pocket saw with me when I go out, and if I see a long tree like this one here, I'll cut a long section off and bring them that way. It's much better use of my energy. And as you can see here, this is where I'm processing the wood. So I cut them off of these at about 12 inches in length, and then what I do is over here I throw all of my logs. Here's all of my split wood. Well, this is all I have left for now. So if I'm in the process of cooking a meal, as an example, which I'm getting ready to do here, while it's cooking and I'm keeping an eye on it, I'll cut some logs or split some wood at the same time. Whenever I harvest a hardwood, like a birch like this is a birch tree, I take the bark off and I just pile it up and put it right here. Now, this is a very young campsite, okay? I'm constantly improving it. Those are some of my tasks for what's left of today, both improving my shelter and also the area here. So I'm going to make myself a nice bench seat, and what I'm also going to do is make a small lean-to, so all of my wood will have a place to I will have a place to put all of my wood underneath and keep it dry. So I'm probably going to make that just over there, so where it's easily accessible. I've been doing some upgrades on my shelter. Take a look at what I did. I still need to figure something out for the door, but for now I'm just going to let it flap like that, leave it kind of open at the bottom to seal the gap between the plastic and the ground. I basically just kicked a whole bunch of leaf litter and stuff all along the bottom to make sure no air could come in. The top is still open. I'm gonna give it a try with the small fire inside tonight, and so I didn't want to put anything on the top to see how it would draw the smoke. That's why I left the door open too, to let some air in. So I'm anxious to see how that's going to work. I'm thinking tomorrow I'm going to fill that in with some evergreen boughs. When I cleared here, I cut a couple trees that had some green boughs on the top, okay? And I'm going to use them, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow, because like I said, I want to see how the smoke comes out of there. I may not be able to put anything at all up there, I don't know. I hope I can, because it'll block any snow or rain, or actually deflect it away from the opening. I put some more bracing in there to sturdy everything up, and I've tied the plastic down better. So last night I did a quick job because I ran out of daylight, and the plastic sort of sagged and left big air gaps. I was wondering why my feet were so cold. It's because back here the wind had flipped over the plastic, and so there was a cold draft coming in right at my feet. So that's why my feet were cold last night. See that? No cloud cover means cold and damp night. That's why I want the fire in the shelter, even if it's not going all night. At least the hot coals in there should help keep things drier than what it was last night, because man, I was shivering. Even though I'm Canadian and have antifreeze for blood, I was still cold last night, even with that winter sleeping bag. It's not the sleeping bag's fault. So anyways, I'm not gonna talk too much because I see that my battery is starting to get low, and also I'm running out of daylight. I probably have about an hour and a half of usable daylight. After that, even though the sun's not completely down, it's just too dark to really get anything done out here. So here are the tops of the trees that are left over from the frame of the teepee shelter itself. I'm gonna sift through them and get some good components to make myself a pot holder and bannock stick and all that for inside the shelter. I'm gonna leave the ones that I have out here for outside and make some new ones for inside. The air's getting pretty cool. I feel it coming, and I'm keeping an eye on the thermometer. Right now it's 11 degrees Celsius. That's down by about 5 degrees from what it was today. Hey guys, what you're looking at is my indoor fireplace. Because of course I'm surrounded by plastic, so I can't have a huge fire, so I'm keeping it small, and as a result oftentimes the flame goes out. So by having a little tea light candle there, I can see what I'm doing. I've also, above my head, I installed a ridge line so I can hang knickknacks and stuff. And something that I have up there is a blue glow stick, so it kind of lights my area here so I can do some tasks and whatnot, like carving a stir stick or a fire poker stick. That's the word I was looking for. It's giving off decent heat, but you know, as we all know, a fire requires a certain amount of air, and that air is actually coming from my door. Well, lack of a door. So that's one upgrade I need to do, is somehow seal the door. Right now there's just two flaps of plastic that sort of hide the door. Well, no, I mean I can see my ATV right outside the door when I'm at ground level. I'm just laying down on my mat here. So I'm gonna fix that tomorrow. Again, today I made some updates to my teepee, but I didn't have time to fully finish. But at least tonight I have a fire in here, so it's a lot more comfortable, that's for sure. Quite a breeze coming in the door, through the door, because of the fire. It's sucking the air in, and of course that air is cold, so I gotta do something about that. On a positive note though, there's no buildup of smoke in here. The smoke is going right out the top, which is great. Right now I can see the stars. It's a nice clear night. The moon's out, and so are the coyotes. I could hear them howling, and that means it's going to be a cold night. There's not a cloud in the sky. Actually, the moon is giving off more light. There's more light shining in the door than what my glow stick is giving off. So, go figure. I just laid them around there to contain the fire. They'll burn a little bit as well, but it's no big deal. So tomorrow I'm going to find myself some rocks of the non-river variety to make a better fire pit. It's about 10:30 at night now. I'm gonna whip out the sleeping bag and call her a night. Good night. Good morning. Oh, wow. I slept pretty good last night. Must be all the fresh air. It's 9 a.m. Wow. Kinda slept in. So this is my sleeping arrangement. Right here, tucked in the corner. Got an excellent view. Leaving the top of my teepee open like that sure makes things nice and bright in here. I'm gonna get out of bed and start the fire. I'm gonna cheat this morning to light my fire. Just to illustrate a point, basically. Let's get going here. Even though I enjoy using a flint and steel, I also carry a small Bic lighter in my pack as well. Because it's not, oh, let's get off some heat. Because there's times when I like to practice the standby methods, okay? But I also sometimes like to use a quick method, like this morning as an example. I'm cold, I'm hungry, I just want to get it over with. So I use the lighter. Actually difficult to have a small fire going because it tends to want to go out all the time. But I don't really have much of a choice when I start it. It's going to get big like that. I want to get to the stage where there's a lot of coals on the bottom so that it keeps drying up the bigger wood and catches it on fire. See, when you got flame, there's hardly any smoke that comes out. It's very efficient. But you knew that already. If you can't see that. 8.9, 8.2 outside. 9. 9.2. See, the temperature's rising pretty quick in here. Small space. So what I did last night is I had a spare peat moss bag. Okay, it's hard to see because everything's black here, but I basically put a baffle on the door, tied it top and bottom, left a gap over on the other side, and a gap right here. The air is rushing in like crazy. It's kind of like a draft on a stove, and that really helped to increase the temperature in here. When I last turned the camera off, it was only about 6 degrees warmer in here than it was outside. With that baffle, after I put it in, I kept monitoring the thermometer, which was exactly in the same spot, and the temperature steadily started to climb. It actually went all the way up to about 19. I'll check that. I reset the min and max temperatures. Actually, I'm going to check that right now. So right now it's 11, still 8 outside. Maximum indoor 17.2. That's pretty warm. That's when I had my fire going. I thought it was higher than that. Minimum was 5. That's as cold as it went in here last night. Maximum outdoor was 9.1. That's at the before the sun went down, and the minimum was 3.4. 3.4, and the minimum in here was 5. So just the shelter alone, with no insulation, no fire or anything, keeps the air temperature in here a good 2 degrees warmer than outside. Pretty impressive. Figuring I've got big hole up there and drafts everywhere. And these walls are only made out of plastic, so